Today's date is March 3rd, 2016. This one's a little different. Maria is the daughter of my patient with cancer, but she's got her own story of healing to tell, of what she did on her own. She was a neuroanatomist, and shortly before she graduated with a PhD, she fell deathly ill, and you said for about 15 years?
Well, it was 15 years before I found out what was wrong.
And
in the lab.
And it turned out that you had to figure it out yourself, right?
Right. Basically.
And the doctors gave you nothing but steroids and antidepressants, right?
MDs, yes.
MDs. And part of the reason why you got antidepressants, in my opinion, is because you're a woman. So you must be depressed or hysterical. See the psychology here?
Of course.
So what did you do? You realized that what did you realize your problem was due to?
Well, I actually came upon raw food, a co-op, and was interested in doing just the raw food. But I eventually found a person who does iridology, and he read my irises, blew them up on the computer, and said, "What is all this cobalt and nickel doing in your body?" And I said, "I don't know." He said, "Did you live near an airport?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Well, you had a huge exposure to this." I said, "Well, I mean, I used cobalt and nickel in my experiments at the lab." And he said, "Oh my, you worked in a lab?" And I said, "Yes, but I protected myself." He said, "It gets into you no matter how much protection you have." Also radioactivity, because there were radioactive chemicals in the lab that I was in, even though I didn't use the radioactive chemicals. So
and it was formaldehyde too.
And formaldehyde.
And you were in an anatomy lab.
Absolutely, and all kinds of terrible chemicals that I don't even want to mention.
So then what did you do to help yourself out?
So I actually had tried many things within this 15-year period of time. And finally, when I did the raw food, including raw dairy, meaning unpasteurized, and farm fresh, and raw meat, where ceviches and carpaccios and things with good quality meat, it instantly helped me, instantly. And over 10 years, my energy has increased. My mother can attest to this. I was in bed for 5 days out of the week 10 years ago, unable to walk, unable to hold a pen. My vision it's difficult to explain. All kinds of things. I was nauseated and dizzy all day long, but now I've got energy. I'm not 100%, but I don't think about it anymore. I just continue with the diet, and I continue with various other things. Taking care of yourself, it's worth taking the effort. It takes effort and time, and it pays off.
So in your case, I mean, my mantra to patients is proper nutrition, detoxification, and dealing with stress. You did almost all of this by dealing with the nutrition factor, correct?
Mm-hmm. And I also take baths, therapeutic baths, as often as I can.
What kind of baths do you take?
I put sea salt, Celtic sea salt, a couple of tablespoons into the bath, and 3 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, fermented, like Bragg's, or Solano, and then a cup of raw milk. And it all
in the bath?
In the bath water, and wait for 5 minutes when you stir it all together. And it detoxifies, it pulls out all the toxins in the water, then you soak in it. And it gets your lymph system going, and it's very relaxing and wonderful for your skin.
Thank you. May I post this on YouTube?
Sure.
Thank you very much. I think you're going to help a lot of people. You mentioned to me that you're doing primal diet. That includes raw meat, correct?
Yes, it does.
And you're very careful about where you're getting that raw meat.
Very. It has to be grass-fed, hormone-free, organic. It must be. And
humanely raised and humanely killed.
Absolutely, right? Absolutely. And it's primal diet, and Agenus Vonderplanitz is the person who diagnosed me and who is behind a lot of this diet. And WeWantToLive.com is the website where you can get a lot of information.
Thank you.
Okay.